Here are my predictions for week 19 of the Premier League season. So in the first game we have Burnley versus Newcastle United, and even though both of these teams aren't in the best of form, Newcastle are in slightly better form and Burnley have just had more or less a terrible season overall so far. So here I'm going to tip Newcastle United to win this game 1-0. So in the second game we have another two teams who aren't in the best of form, and this is Chelsea and Bournemouth. However, Chelsea have actually won one and drawn two in their last 5 games, with Bournemouth drawing 3 and losing 2. So with Chelsea being in slightly better form, higher in the table, and also at home, I'm going to pick Chelsea to win this game quite comfortably in the end by 2-0. In our next game, we have Nottingham Forest versus Everton, and once again, both of these teams are in similar form. However, this time it is a bit better form, with both teams winning 2 games out of their last 5. And even though Nottingham Forest are lower in the table, they are at home, and both of these teams have scored the exact same amount of goals this season. So here I'm going to pick a 1-1 draw between these two teams. And now we move on to West Ham United versus Brighton and Hove Albion, and in this game these two teams have not won a single game in their last 5. However, Brighton are 5 places higher than West Ham in the table, and they have also scored 7 more goals than West Ham this season. So because of this, I'm going to pick Brighton and Hove Albion to win a very close game here by 1-0. And now we move on to our second to last game, which is Arsenal versus Aston Villa, and both of these teams basically at the top of the table, both in incredible form, and the only loss between these two in their last 5 was when Aston Villa ended up beating Arsenal 2-1. So now with the return fixture, I don't really see too much between these two teams, considering the form they're in and the fact that they've scored a similar amount of goals. So here I'm going to end up picking a 2-2 draw. And for the final game of this episode, we have Manchester United versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, and here Man United are in 6th, Wolves are rock bottom. Wolves haven't won a game this season, they've only scored 10 goals, they've lost their last 5, whereas Man United have won 2, drawn 2 and lost 1 out of their last 5, and they're on a bit of a roll. So here I'm probably predictably going to pick Man United to win this game 2-0.